Have you ever noticed how some people seem to possess an entirely different lens through which they view existence, as if they've discovered a secret code that transforms every experience, whether triumph or tragedy, into raw material for wisdom and growth? What if this transformative perspective isn't reserved for the philosophically gifted or emotionally evolved, but rather stems from three specific mental laws that have been quietly reshaping human consciousness for over 2,000 years? Tonight, we explore three profound Stoic laws that don't just change how you think about life, they completely revolutionize how you experience reality itself, turning you from someone who is constantly buffeted by circumstances into someone who finds profound meaning and unshakable peace regardless of what the world presents. Before we dive into these life-altering principles that have the power to fundamentally transform your entire worldview, I need you to engage with this content in a way that signals your commitment to genuine transformation. Like this video if you're ready to discover what it means to see life through completely different eyes. Subscribe to Inner Dominion because we're building a sanctuary for minds that refuse to remain trapped in conventional ways of thinking and being. Share this with someone who deserves to know that their perspective on existence can be completely revolutionized, and comment below with the one aspect of life that you currently find most difficult to accept or understand. These three laws have been tested by Roman emperors facing the collapse of civilization, by slaves enduring unimaginable hardship, by philosophers confronting exile and death, and they will work for you if you're willing to let them completely reshape how you see everything that happens to you. The first law strikes at the very foundation of human suffering and offers you a complete paradigm shift that will transform how you relate to every single experience you encounter. Master the fundamental distinction between what is up to you and what is not up to you. Then focus completely on what is within your control. Epictetus, who understood both literal chains and the invisible shackles that bind most minds, taught that the chief task in life is simply this: to identify and separate matters so that we can say clearly to ourselves which are externals not under our control and which have to do with the choices we actually control. This isn't just another self-help concept. This is a complete revolution in how you understand your relationship with reality itself. When you truly internalize this distinction, you stop fighting battles that cannot be won and start investing your energy where it can actually make a difference. Your spouse's mood when they wake up tomorrow morning is not up to you, but how you choose to respond to whatever mood they're in absolutely is. The economy's impact on your industry is not up to you, but your preparation for economic changes, your skill development, and your strategic responses completely are. Other people's opinions about your life choices are not up to you, but living according to your own values and principles entirely is. The person who masters this first law experiences something that most people never taste: complete psychological freedom from the tyranny of circumstances. You stop being a victim of events and become the conscious author of your responses. You cease wasting precious mental energy trying to control the uncontrollable and discover vast reserves of power that can be directed toward what actually matters. This shift in perspective doesn't happen overnight, but once you begin practicing it consistently, you'll wonder how you ever lived any other way. The second law introduces a radical reframing that transforms obstacles from sources of suffering into opportunities for growth. Embrace everything that happens to you as exactly what is needed for your development. The Stoics called this amor fati, love of fate, and it represents one of the most powerful psychological technologies ever developed for human flourishing. Marcus Aurelius wrote that our inner power reacts to events by accommodating itself to what it faces, turning obstacles into fuel like a fire that burns brighter when more material is thrown onto it. This doesn't mean becoming passive or pretending that difficulties are pleasant. It means recognizing that every challenge contains raw material for building character, wisdom, resilience, or compassion. When someone betrays your trust, instead of remaining trapped in victimhood and resentment, you can ask, what is this experience here to teach me about discernment, boundaries, or forgiveness? When financial setbacks occur, instead of spiraling into anxiety and self-pity, you can explore, how is this situation calling me to develop resourcefulness, gratitude for what I have, or clarity about what truly matters? The modern military leader Jocko Willink captured this Stoic principle perfectly when he taught people to respond to every setback with a single word: good. Mission got canceled? Good. We can focus on another one. Didn't get the promotion? Good. More time to develop skills? Got injured? Good. Needed a break from training. This isn't toxic positivity or denial of difficulty. It's the recognition that you are the one who decides whether experiences bury you or build you, whether circumstances become excuses for stagnation or catalysts for growth. When you begin seeing everything that happens to you as perfectly designed for your development, even when you can't understand how in the moment, your entire relationship with adversity transforms. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What is this here to teach me?" You cease being a victim of circumstances and become a student of life itself. The third and final law addresses the most persistent source of human anxiety and offers you complete liberation from the mental prison that tortures most people throughout their entire existence. Accept the fundamental impermanence of everything and everyone you love. Then let this acceptance deepen your appreciation rather than create despair. The Stoics understood that our attachment to permanence in an impermanent world is the root of virtually all psychological suffering. When you try to hold on to things that are naturally changing, when you demand that relationships remain static, when you expect your current circumstances to last forever, you set yourself up for inevitable heartbreak and disappointment. But when you truly accept that everything in your life is temporary, your current job, your current relationships, your current health, your current problems, even your current happiness, something profound happens. Instead of this realization creating nihilism or depression, it creates an intense appreciation for what you have right now. When you remember that your time with your loved ones is finite, conversations become more precious and arguments seem less worth the energy. When you recognize that your current challenges are temporary, they lose their power to overwhelm your peace of mind. When you understand that your successes are also impermanent, you can enjoy them without becoming attached to them as sources of identity. This law teaches you to hold everything lightly while engaging with it fully. You can love deeply while accepting that loss is inevitable. You can work passionately while recognizing that outcomes are temporary. You can plan for the future while remaining present in the moment. The Stoics practiced memento mori, remembering death, not to become morbid, but to become fully alive, appreciating the gift of consciousness and connection while we have it. These three laws work together to create a complete transformation in how you experience existence itself. The first law frees you from the exhausting battle against forces beyond your control. The second law transforms every challenge into an opportunity for growth and wisdom. The third law deepens your appreciation for the present moment by helping you accept the temporary nature of all experiences. When you begin living according to these principles, you discover something extraordinary. Life doesn't become easier, but it becomes infinitely more meaningful. Problems don't disappear, but your relationship with problems completely changes. People don't stop behaving in ways that challenge you, but their behavior loses its power to disturb your inner peace. Circumstances don't become consistently favorable, but your capacity to find value and wisdom in any circumstances expands dramatically. The ancient Stoics discovered something that our comfort-obsessed culture has largely forgotten. True happiness comes not from arranging external conditions to match your preferences, but from developing the internal capacity to thrive regardless of external conditions. They understood that the mind, properly trained through daily practice of these principles, becomes like a skilled musician who can create beautiful music with whatever instruments are available, or like a master chef who can prepare a nourishing meal from whatever ingredients are provided. These three laws aren't just philosophical concepts to contemplate. They are practical tools for daily living, mental technologies that must be applied in real situations when your peace of mind is genuinely threatened. The more you practice focusing on what you control, embracing challenges as growth opportunities, and accepting impermanence with grace, the more you develop what the Stoics called ataraxia, unshakable tranquility that comes from within rather than depending on external circumstances. As you prepare for sleep tonight and whatever tomorrow may bring, remember that you now possess three of the most powerful perspective-shifting tools ever discovered by human consciousness. The only question remaining is whether you will commit to the daily practice required to make these laws a living reality rather than mere intellectual concepts. What aspect of your life will you see differently when you apply these principles, and how will you begin practicing this new way of seeing starting tomorrow?